Welcome everybody to this short update video. It's my pleasure today to be joined by Professor Christine Imms, and I've asked Christine to join me to provide some insights into the Healthy Trajectories Disability Research Hub, which is quite a new consortium of research that's been established on this campus. So thanks for joining me today, Christine.
Thank you, Sarath.
I really would like to ask, what is Healthy Trajectories and what is it that you're trying to achieve with this research portfolio?
Thanks, Sarath. It's great to have the opportunity to talk about it. So Healthy Trajectories is designed to be a consortium of researchers and research programs that really focus on children and youth who have child onset disability and their families, and really addressing the issues associated with growing up with a disability, and how to live a good life and how we interact with each other across our society. It helps us build capacities within our communities and societies that mean that everybody has the chance at a really good life, regardless of whether they're born with or acquire a disability early in life.
So on this campus, Christine, it's a fabulous campus, lots and lots of research into disability. What's new about the Healthy Trajectories in terms of its focus?
Absolutely. There's really strong life course focused research here, and lots of disability focused research as well. I think what's different about Healthy Trajectories is that we, first of all, we have established it because we are in an era of a new Australian disability strategy with a new national disability research agenda. And that agenda has been set in the context of having done quite a broad-based consultation across the country with people with a lived experience of disability and people with a deep interest in disability across the life course. And that national agenda is really giving us the focus and the drive for the work that really needs to come together out of something like Healthy Trajectories. Our Melbourne Children's Campus is in an incredible position to be able to bring the diverse expertise of our researchers and clinicians and people with experience of disability to really drive that agenda for the betterment of young people and their families.
Now, you're leading this, so it's your vision that we're enacting here. Who have you partnered with in this journey? And if the journey is successful, what will that success look like for people with disability?
So in terms of partners, we started out actually working with the Melbourne Disability Institute. So the hub is directly linked through to the Melbourne Disability Institute and its broader vision of bringing partnerships and creating partnerships across sectors, both at the university and within the Melbourne Children's Campus and beyond. So partnerships are really important across different, so with education, for example. So we have projects where we're partnering with the Melbourne Graduate School of Education and the architecture faculty, as well as starting conversations in with the law faculty, where they're doing an amazing NDIS law clinic for their students. So they're sort of examples of the types of groups that we're reaching out to do research with. But we're also partnering internally very strongly with our clinicians within complex care, for example, that experience of having a disability and needing complicated medical support as well. And so that, how do I live a good life when I need to be at a hospital all the time or very frequently? And how do families live a good life when there's a lot of hospital in it? So I think partnerships both within and external are going to be critical.
And who's providing the funding for this?
Yeah, we have a very generous funding support from the Royal Children's Hospital Foundation and from the University of Melbourne. So we have been enabled to establish the hub with staff to be able to bring teams together and to build our research program with that funding. So really important to have that support both from the Melbourne Disability Institute, the Department of Paediatrics and the Melbourne Medical School from the university, as well as the foundation's very generous donation.
And in terms of disability, it's a surprisingly large proportion of our society that's actually affected by disability. Could you give us some insights into the sort of size of the problem?
Yeah. So across Australia, about 4.4 million people will experience disability at some point in their lives. Obviously, the proportion goes up as we get older. I think we could essentially say that nearly everyone in the world will experience disability at some point in their life, or they'll die before it happens. But when we're talking about children, so those are around the under 7 year, it's about 7%, and then you get to the teenage years and it's about 10%.
So really quite a sizable problem.
Really important.
And I think it's a fantastic way of drawing in those other skill sets that we often haven't approached as, healthcare professionals, the architects, the educator researchers that you mentioned there. So it's quite exciting what you're setting out to do here. What sort of timeframes do you think before we see some difference in the lives of people with disability?
Well, I'm always in a hurry, Sarath. I think what we would know, though, I think, is that sometimes you have to hasten slowly, because what we really would say is the critical piece of what we will do in the hub is partner with people with lived experience and their families as co-researchers, both leading the priorities and also joining us on the journey of doing the research. And that is just so crucial, and was the fundamental finding of the setting of the research agenda, is that is what's required to go forward. And that means that we actually need to take our time to bring people into that space. And it's not only people with lived experience who need to engage and learn how to engage with research, but actually, almost more importantly, it's the researchers who need to come to sort of an understanding of what that looks like and how should we do that. It's actually not enough to just say, come into this project. Actually, there's supports that are needed. There's shared learning that has to be done. We often ask people questions that really they have to re-engage with traumatic experiences, or they have to remember and experience again some of the things that have been difficult for them, because they're the problems we want to solve. So that means we have to be supportive and enabling of that. So it's not something you do lightly. So it does have to be done with thought and with preparation. But I can tell you now, I will never go back. The power of collaborating with consumers in research is enormous, and the quality of what we do, the depth of what we learn you just can't underscore it enough.
So thanks very much, Christine, for your leadership on this, and also for the expertise that you and your co-design group or co-producing group of people with lived experience. I think all of us could learn an enormous amount about, the experience that you gain from this is going to be very useful for other people's research on this campus. So finally, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our honorees and our affiliates in the Department of Paediatrics today?
Absolutely. I think the most important thing is please get in touch. We want to hear from you if you have any interest in child onset disability. We have a couple of opportunities coming up that we'll be sharing through the newsletters. One is that Healthy Trajectories will be launching its first seed grant round. So we'll be offering funds to bring teams together to continue to address those National Disability Research Agenda items. And as well as that, we're about to launch some training in engagement in research with family members. So look out for that as well.
Well, thanks very much. And thank you all for listening.